Make sure you go and check out carmarshal.com. Over 100,000 new and used cars from dealers. You shop, you see what you like, negotiate prices, and get you a very good deal. What's going on, people? Jay the Black. People have been wanting me to speak on this, and I want to take my time to really look at certain things and read through it. There's been some outrage. It hasn't been the outrage to the point to where you're seeing it go super viral, But this situation is very troubling to me. Now, I'm not gonna say that there wasn't racism involved. I'm not gonna go extremely in that direction, but I'm gonna look at it from the perspective that you put together a jury of pretty much all Caucasians, and when you convict a guy on little to no evidence, that is a problem. It really is. I got a couple different articles in front of me, but I'm going to read one that's a little bit more to the point from Rolling Out. Okay. It says a black man will likely spend more than a decade of his life behind bars due to an assault that reportedly never happened. According to the Lawrence Journal World, the incident occurred in 2016 near the University of Kansas. Albert Wilson, who was 20 at the time, met a 17-year-old alleged victim while at a college area bar. First off, what type of bar is serving alcohol to a 17-year-old? They should be just as, culpable in this as Albert is. Because first off, what is a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old doing in your bar? I know this in college towns, you got these, you got these kids with freshmen in college who are going to bars. You got these guys who are still under the age of 21 that are still going to these places and drinking and partying. So we know this stuff goes on, but they should be held as responsible too for serving this girl alcohol. I could see if she was at a house party, but she was at a bar. Okay. They never told each other their ages. After dancing, they began to kiss, and Wilson admitted to lifting the girl's skirt and touching her with permission. The two left the bar and went back to Wilson's apartment. They kissed but never had intercourse, according to Wilson. However, the young woman claimed that Wilson forced her to have intercourse. Scientists who worked for the Kansas Bureau of Investigation testified that Wilson's DNA was found on the girl's chest where he said he kissed her, but no seminal fluid or DNA was found. Even with such evidence, an all-white jury still convicted Wilson of the alleged assault. Wilson had dreams of being a sports journalist, but be sentenced to 12 years in prison. Not only that, but according to this other article I read, he's going to have to register as an offender. Now, I want to know this. Now, this is how Kansas is getting out of this, the state of Kansas. Looking up some facts about this situation, 12 years is the minimum amount due to an assault case. So no matter what, how they're getting out of it, they're saying, well, it's mandatory to do 12 years, which I can understand if the guy is guilty. But if you're basically convicting him off of the word of this girl who was in a club drinking at 17, there's a lot of problems in this case. I also feel like this guy's attorney it was very incompetent, wasn't worth anything, was basically, and a lot of these, these court appointed attorneys really don't, all they're trying to do is get these cases in and out. They don't really care about their client. They're not working that hard to get them off. And I'm pretty sure that is a frustration a lot of times with these guys who cannot afford a lawyer. And they feel like they're innocent in a lot of situations. You're appointed these lawyers who don't care about your case. They just care about getting your file off their desk. Now, according to, I believe it says LJ World, it says a former University of Kansas student was sentenced to prison Wednesday for an assault on a teen he met at a bar near the campus. Douglas County District Court Judge Sally Bacarni ordered Albert N. Wilson, 23 of Wichita, to 147 months or just over 12 years in state's prison. She said that will be followed by a lifetime post-release supervision, and he will register as an offender. And that's based off of the word of this girl. Y'all understand? They didn't look at the evidence. They looked at the word of a 17-year-old drinking in a club or in a bar. That is going to cause people to think that this has a lot to do with his melanin. Because if you are sentencing somebody just off of somebody's word, that's a problem, Kansas. That's a problem. For a person with no criminal history in Wilson's case, Wilson's sentence is the lowest end of what's called for by Kansas sentencing guidelines for assaults. His appointed attorney, Forrest Lowry, had asked the judge to depart from sentencing guidelines and grant Wilson probation or at least a shorter sentence, but that request was denied. You know they were going to deny that request. You should have, these type of cases have to be fought to the bitter end. You have to be able to fight these cases, because what's going to happen if you put this in the hands of the judge, they're going to see that as guilt. And that's what happened in this situation, unfortunately. Both of these individuals were using fake IDs. This is exactly why, these bars should be held accountable for allowing underage people in these clubs. You have to look at their IDs instead of you trying to sell drinks. Because that's who, the bar that this happened at, where these two met each other at, and this incident started, they should be shut down for having underage, individuals in their establishment, especially a 17-year-old. Because I'm pretty sure the drinking age is 21 in Kansas. Okay? This whole situation is very weird to me. It's a weird situation. Now, again, you got people that's going to say, well, it's race, Jay, it's race. And you know what? It could be. But I'm not going to go that far, because once again, their sentencing guidelines says the minimum is 12 years. If I'm going to look at anybody who's corrupt in this situation, it's this female judge. It's this female judge thinking on emotion instead of her looking at the case and seeing there's not enough evidence to really put this guy behind bars. She's going off of the fact of what this girl said. Even though she was drunk, if she's drunk, you know what I'm saying? And again, once again, they also said there were bruising on her legs, okay? That was consistent with her story. So that too played a part in it as well. But once again, people, there was no DNA found. We have to go by DNA, right? That would have made it more of a slam dunk, but it's almost like she wanted to convict. That what was on her mind. According to LJ World, let's see, the victim testified in trial that she'd been drinking there beforehand, and that Wilson lifted her skirt. That we read all that. They also walked to his place because, according to her, she told him that she was too drunk, that she couldn't go, right? But she went anyway. You went to his place anyway, and that's where the alleged incident took place. And according to her, she said she then returned to the bar and reconnected with her cousin and went to the hospital for an assault examination. Now, something happened at that apartment. Now, I don't know that he penetrated her, because once again, there was no DNA found. She took the rape kit. Okay. And this to me is just sad, man. This guy is from Wichita. He went to Wichita Southeast High School. Was a football player. Just got an associate degree from a community college before transferring to Kansas. Lowry said Wilson wanted to work as a sports journalist, and that before that night at the Hawk and the ensuing charges, he was realizing his dream of graduating from KU. In his written motion, Lowry emphasized Wilson was just 20 and the woman was just 17 when the incident occurred. Now, this was back in 2016, people. 2016. This to me And you know what's really irking me is that you got some of these black females running their mouths talking about that's what he gets when you're dealing with these particular females. A lot of you need to hold your tongues. Okay, when you're out there getting smacked around by Brad, we can say the same thing about you. When you're out there getting in dudes' faces thinking they're not going to do nothing to you. Okay, we could say the same thing about you. So hold your tongues when you speak on situations like this. You don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm going off of what is in these particular articles. I know if I miss something, y'all gonna tell me in the comment section. You always do, because some of y'all think it's smarter than me when you're not. But I don't think we ever will truly know. But because, unfortunately, brothers and sisters, unfortunately, due to Kansas sentencing guidelines, they were going to convict him. And he was going to have to do 12 due to their guidelines. It was either that or he's just found not guilty. And that judge was not going to allow that to happen. Okay. That jury was not going to allow that to happen. Okay. That bar deserves just as much responsibility in this situation, just as much as he does, or is believed to have in this particular situation. Let me tell y'all, young brother, something, man. I know I have, teenagers who listen to me, guys who are in their late teens, early 20s. Be very careful. Be very, very careful of where you go and the type of people that you encounter. Just because a female is flirtatious with you and, y'all are out and about at club, you need to be very careful, because things can go 0 to 100 very quickly, man. You don't know how these women are thinking. And this situation happened in 2016, people. The Me Too movement wasn't really even in effect then. So you have to be very careful. When you go to these bars and these whatever club spot you go to, the first thing you need to do is ask a woman her age. And if she's unwilling to tell you her age, don't talk to her. Okay? Because that's how these guys are getting caught up. You got some particular females out there, man, they're just dysfunctional. And they know they're underage, and they will still try to deal with these guys, knowing full well if these guys have any type of relations with them, they can use it against them. So it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy. But if I miss something, y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm looking at this stuff, reacting to it, and giving y'all my take on it. Let me know what you think in the comment section.